welcome. How's everybody doing today? I'm Stacy, and today is about talking about this beloved holiday, Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, but it's right around the corner, and I find myself really struggling thinking about it. It feels like Thanksgiving is this monumental event, and the reality is, if we sit with it for a little bit, Thanksgiving is actually, in my opinion, probably one of the easier meals if we deconstruct and break apart the pieces. Now, those of us who are on the cancering journey, or those of us who are supporting somebody on the cancering journey, or anybody who wants to just be taking their game up a little bit for Thanksgiving, you are absolutely in the right place. This is one of my favorite meals to break down, and I would love, love, love if you would share your feedback as we go along. Because what I want to say most importantly is Thanksgiving, today's conversation is not about restriction. It's not about calorie counting. It's not about deprivation, really. It's about using food in a more healing way. And so that gets me really excited to talk about that, because when we talk about delicious swaps that heal, energize, and simplify the season, it doesn't make it feel so, I can't just have that. I just can't have that. That's not on my list, my good list, for whatever reason. And I don't want you to feel that way, because the second I pull something away or tell you not to eat it, because that is the one thing that you will sit there and perseverate on and you'll want. Do you agree? Yes? Before I move forward,
Yes.
this is my ask, because I really do need to pull you in on this conversation. I need zero judgment, zero Thanksgiving shame. Put into the chat what your absolute favorite component of Thanksgiving. What is the food item? Is it turkey? Is it stuffing? Is it cranberry sauce? I just want to hear from you. What is your favorite? So then when we break it apart and we dismantle some of the ingredients in there, I'll know exactly where to head. Read them out to me, Danielle.
We have stuffing, sweet potatoes, stuffing we got twice, sweet potatoes twice, turkey with gravy. I love my mom's fresh cranberry relish.
Mmm. How about you, Danielle?
I was one of the sweet potatoes,
Sweet
along with
potatoes.
Catherine.
How
Yeah.
about you, Kristen? What's your favorite?
All the stuffing.
All the stuffing. I have to say, my mother makes the very best stuffing. And I know that it's not the cleanest and whatnot, but my goodness, with the crispy edges and whatnot, usually there is an invoking of some sort of emotion sometimes around a Thanksgiving dinner. And I really feel that with the stuffing. Now, that's not to say that we can't have stuffing that is probably a little bit healthier. And we're going to get into that. So just hold on to your item for a moment and let's keep going. All right. So we know this. Thanksgiving is so much more than just what's on our plate. In fact, I would like to invite us to really pause for a moment and let's get ourselves in the mindset about the season of gratitude. Now, if you're like me, we're inundated with, if you take any sort of mindfulness classes, that's what the topic is, gratitude, right? But so what does that really mean when we're entering into this season? I think it is an intentional pause for those of us who are creating this beautiful, elaborate meal, and for those of us who are just consuming that elaborate meal. This is an intentional pause where we're saying, I am going to take advantage of an upgrade in my Thanksgiving ingredients, but I'm also going to use the season to truly hone in on gratitude. So it could look like your prayer practice. It could look like an intentional prayer gratitude journal. And it could also look like just starting your season. November is going to be here before you know it. The season of just being grateful. And I, for one, I'm incredibly grateful to not only have this role, but to work with folks like you all who absolutely appreciate the energy and the effort wrapped behind just doing a better job in our nutrition. So that said, let's get going with our plates. All right, so we just talked about being grateful, putting ourselves into the state of calm. We're going to do that when we get to the breathe section. I'm going to actually do a gratitude prayer and breath work session with you. So we're going to keep moving past the mindset. Today, what we're going to be talking about is, instead of, again, canceling out our favorites, we're going to look at a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, meal, afternoon event, however you want to, whatever time you eat, and we're going to look at what it means to eat clean, what it means to eat cleaner, and then oftentimes I'll say squeaky clean, right? So you have choices And the way I approach nutrition for this meal allows you to enter in on the place where you feel comfortable, right? So let's go back to the stuffing example. Kristen and I happen to love stuffing. Let's just say that is the non-negotiable. We are not getting rid of that. Why? Because it just brings us joy. It connects with my mom. It connects me with me. Fine. But let's look at the rest of the plate as well. So I just gave you an example there on the screen. Clean would mean we're swapping out a few things just to make it a little healthier. If we take our ingredients and we take them a little bit cleaner, perhaps maybe we are using whole foods, homemade foods instead of store-bought, where we lose a little bit of control there. And then that squeaky clean or really clean, what are items and ingredients that we can add into our dishes that are more nourishing and deeply healing? And based on all the other episodes that we've done with our oncology nutritionists, there is always a place that we can do better. And there's always a place that we can pull back, right? I just gave you a first example, the turkey instead of a ham. Although, Danielle, do you know anybody in our world do you know anybody who has ham instead of turkey? When I came across a little bit of research, it was really heavy on, we've always done turkey. How about you guys? Anybody do ham? I'm just
do
curious.
both when I have someone who doesn't eat turkey.
There you go. All right. So I see ham around the Christmas holidays, but not so much Thanksgiving, but I will cover it. So an example for clean would be replacing if you have a ham for your Thanksgiving, and then you would do a turkey instead. A little cleaner, as an example, would be if you love cranberry sauce, can we use fresh cranberries and citrus? And then finally, squeaky clean, maybe we're getting rid of some things and we're replacing them entirely with things like herbs, fresh herbs and olive oil. And we're monitoring no sugar, no unhealthy fats, and no really high sodium content. Make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you're following me, because it'll gel really easily if you know where I'm going. Clean? Thank you. Perfect. All right. So when I have the opportunity to work with folks and we're working on nutrition, I like to do what's called the plate method. Now, you've seen and heard, I'm sure that this is a visual that may be fairly familiar, but I want you to pause for a second. Don't assume that we know exactly what Stacy's talking about. What I'm talking about with the plate method is actually viewing your plate like a clock, like the clock, right? And if I separate my clock into a 30-minute increment, which would divide my plate in half, I would go ahead and I would divide it one more time in 15-minute increments. So let me show you what that would look like. Half of your plate with colorful plants. Those are your vegetables. A quarter of your plate would be your roasted turkey. And then the other quarter of the plate would be a healthy fat. And when I say smart carbs, I don't necessarily mean smart. I'm talking about a really high antioxidant, like really good bang for your buck. So I put those sweet potatoes on there and just know that the olive oil next to it is what I would be putting on that sweet potato to roast it down. So you want to, if you're interested, and again, I'm not telling you what to do at all, but this is organizing your plate into a macronutrient that 3 different division sections that will give you those 3 macronutrients that keep us really full, gives us what we need by way of solid ingredients. And then also the extra fat actually makes it taste really good. So please, let me pause for a second. Have you heard of this kind of plate method? Half of your plate with really solid vegetables, quarter of your plate with a high quality lean protein, and then using those low glycemic, like steady state will hold you that really fullness in that carb of the sweet potato, and then adding that olive oil for fat. What do we got, Danielle? Are folks knowing what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, let's keep going here. What is this? This is by far one of my favorite examples to teach you what I'm talking about. On the left, it looks like a beer, but it's not. That is a glass of apple juice. In the center is homemade applesauce. And then all the way on the right, of course, is an apple. This gives you an idea of the spectrum of how we learn how to eat clean. Obviously, or hopefully it's obvious, on the right-hand side, that whole apple, that gives us such a bang for our buck. We're getting the fiber, we're getting all of the great things, the skin in there, the whole food, fruit. And of course, I would hope that by now we know that those thin skinned fruits are best purchased in an organic variety. I took that apple and I sent it I sliced it up and I put apple slices and I put cinnamon sticks and then I put the squeeze of 2 oranges in a big crock pot with a bunch of apple slices. And then I crock pot cooked this for about 2 hours. At the end, it's this lovely applesauce. It's this concentrated, gooey, lovely applesauce, and it's warm and it's delicious. And then all the way on the left is a store-bought apple juice. Now, I'm hoping that this is super clear. We've got the concentrated sugar and processed sugar inside of this apple juice. We've done a little bit better with the applesauce, and then our best choice is the apple. Now, I share that with you because I don't expect you to put an apple on your table and eat an apple. Sorry, I'm going to pass up the apple pie a la mode. I'm just giving you the education to understand that you can go left, you can swipe left, and you can swipe right. Does it make sense? All right, let me show you a different plate that has nothing to do with Thanksgiving, just so you can get the idea. All right. How about this one? Is this something that you would eat? Grilled chicken, fresh green beans, side of that avocado. Doesn't that look delicious? And then a whole sweet potato cut in half, and that's just baked. You're starting to get the hang of it? I'm not asking you to measure. I'm not asking you to look at calories. I'm not asking you to do anything except for organize your thoughts. I'm not asking you to put a division line on your plate either. I'm asking you to organize your thoughts. This is a great first plate. That's a great first plate. Not necessarily for Thanksgiving, but clean eating. That is squeaky clean. I love everything about it. Tell me what you think. Anyone? Hi, Bailey. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, Believe Big Team's so sweet.
Getting
I
young.
didn't think anybody was going to be super interested in healthier Thanksgiving. I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled. What'd you say, Danielle?
Getting some good yums and it looks delicious. I'll take that for dinner tonight, please.
Yes. Okay. So this is interactive, right? Because I like to work with you. This is what I want you to do. Just pause. This is less than 1 minute. Please put in a chat, and you cannot use my ingredients. Pick a lean protein, half of your plate, and your favorite vegetable. Give me a really good slow release carb, like a sweet potato or a rice or something like that, and then give me a healthy fat. It doesn't have to look like that. Just give me your plate quickly. I want to know that you've learned it, so then when you get to Thanksgiving, when we talk about our Thanksgiving meal, you'll understand where I'm going. I'll take 3 of you. Just give me 3 different plates. What could it look like? Got little bubbles on the texting. Tell me somebody's thinking about it. Anyone? All right, let's do this.
I have one.
Okay.
Baked fish, sweet potato, and asparagus.
Ooh, so baked fish, asparagus, and a sweet potato. That's it.
In the chat.
Anybody else?
Salmon fillet, asparagus, and cauliflower rice.
I love it. I love both of those. One more. All right, how about if I pick the protein, you finish it off? How about a piece of grass-fed, grass-finished steak? There's your protein. What you gonna do?
Yep, we got it. Somebody had steak, cauliflower rice, and broccoli.
That's amazing. What are we gonna do for our healthy fat on that? How about a little grass-fed butter? Yeah, maybe? You guys got the hang of it. I love it. That's perfect. All
We
right,
got more avocado, LOL.
yeah. So practicing it gives you an idea of the conundrum that we get into, right? What are we going to have? And if in clean eating in its purest form, it's actually pretty easy because the choices really significantly pare down. I very much love the idea of using the plate method, not just for Thanksgiving, but just in general, because those macronutrients, we know that lean protein is what supports our lean muscle tissue. We want as much of that as possible. Very, very healthy. We know that the healthy fat, our body doesn't make that on its own. That's where we get that good hair growth, and the joint lubrication is from that healthy fat, right? And then our carbs, that's our energy source. As long as we're picking it from the appropriate source, We're not using processed. All right, so you guys have the hang of it. So let's get back to Thanksgiving, and then we're going to work together to build it out. All right, so we talked about the main showstopper, the turkey, right? Let's talk about what it looks like. What would be, in your opinion, if we're talking about the apple juice category, just the turkey? Where would we get that turkey from? It's probably what we're already doing right now. A store-bought turkey, right? Maybe it's got some sort of coating or marinade on it, a brine, if you will, something on it, right? That would be store-bought. A little bit cleaner, and also our ham category. A little bit cleaner would be that turkey, plain, fresh turkey. And then finally, that squeaky clean, or that really clean. I just got mine. I subscribe to Butcher Box. That is an organic turkey breast that is lovely. It's here early. I stuck it in the freezer, and so that would give me my choices. I want you to comment on that. Does anybody utilize like a organic or a farm raised turkey that you like and where it's from? Anyone?
We have comments. It needs to be organic for sure. I try to find organic turkey every year.
Yeah.
It said traditional for me is a deep fried turkey. Moving to roasted has made it better.
Ah, beautiful. That's a beautiful bridge. So if we can look at this main part of our meal as where are we now? One. Two, do we want to clean it up? The answer could be no. And if we do want to clean it up, where are we going to go? So again, at the end of the show, I will put where I get my things from. You decide what is important to you to clean up during this meal. I happen to think the turkey choice from Butcher Box, you'd be hard pressed to say it was anything more than as delicious as you ever knew it. So give yourself a little bit of grace there that the choices that you're making, we're just trying to do just a little bit better. I will say the ham conversation has come up a lot in the research. And again, we know that ham is full of sodium, lots of nitrates, a little bit more on the processed end. And I'm not demonizing the ham, because if that's your thing, that's your thing. But understand that there is a cleaner choice beyond the ham. Good? My next favorite, and you guys said it, so I hope that I light somebody up. This is where I can totally geek out with you all as well. Canned cranberries. This makes me laugh. My father is the consumer that will only have the Ocean Spray canned cranberry that when you open it up, it comes out in one gelatinous tube, and he would like to have that all on his own. Who else? There's no shame in the cranberry game either. I cannot convince him one way or another. That's his thing. That's his stuffing, if you will.
Yeah, we got some people saying same in our family.
Yeah.
My dad still does that too.
Oh my goodness. And it's actually got its own, listen, you guys, my dad actually has his own little cranberry tube dish. It only comes out once a year, but my mother has got the little ridges in it, so they all sit, and his favorite thing is to cut it, and it flops over sideways. I hope that's making you smile, because these are the things I'm grateful for today, right? I'm happy that he's with me and that he wants to tumble over the little cranberry gel. But we can do better. And I would suggest if you are interested in cleaning up, I would highly suggest trying my recipe that I'm going to provide you. But a little bit better than the canned cranberries would be your whole cranberries, and we'd sweeten it with a little bit of honey or dates that you can grind up to mix it up. Is it going to taste like the stuff coming out of the can? Probably not, but we could clean it up. But my favorite is to purchase, and right now they're plentiful, is to buy a bag of cranberries that are organic, and all you do is you put it in a saucepan. You don't have to write this down because I'll put it in the show notes. You put it in a saucepan. The sweetener is actually coming from the squeeze of 2 oranges, and I also throw in a little bit of cinnamon, if you will. And the water, I use just filtered water just to cover those cranberries up, and I will boil them. Extremely mindful and satisfying, because if you've ever done this, they pop. So you have to continuously stir them, but you'll use like a little bit of a masher when they start to pop, and you can absolutely make your own cranberry sauce that is, I promise, so delicious. And my favorite thing to do with that post Thanksgiving is to find a plain Greek yogurt, use a dollop of the homemade cranberry sauce, and that is like a little bit of a cranberry custard. It is outstanding. Tell me how you think about that. Where are my people that said that cranberry sauce is their thing? Will you consider, have I changed your mind even a little bit?
We have, this is what I love, fresh cranberries with citrus. So we have someone
And it
who-
makes the house smell so good, right? So again, bringing ourselves back to, you get to do this. You get to use these ingredients to make something even more delicious, even more healing. That's why I said when we started off, I get that people are like, oh my gosh, Thanksgiving's got so many emotions attached to it. It doesn't have to not. In fact, I would suggest maybe you'll do this year 1 or 2 recommendations and cleaning it up. And each year will be something fun to figure out how to just do a little bit better. I am digressing and I'm taking a little bit of a lane here, but I don't know if anybody has seen or tried purple cauliflower. Have you seen this in the stores? My gosh, this deep purple color of the cauliflower and roasting it and having that be half the thing on my plate. I know it makes me sound like a food geek, but truly, I think aesthetically, your eyes are the things that are enticing that appetite to come on in. So when it looks beautiful, trust me when I tell you, you're not going to miss the fried turkey. You're going to be glowing over purple cauliflower or orange sweet potatoes, whatever it is. So did anybody, Danielle, say that they would try?
Yes, they are saying that they're going to try it. And
Awesome.
then I missed one. Somebody had mentioned, I think it's similar to Butcher Box, but they put grassroots, but I Googled grassroots farmers co-op and it's grass-fed, pasture-raised meat from a regenerative farm. So it looks like, and you can subscribe
Listen,
and get delivery.
store that one for sure. We'll put that in the show notes. Anything that, again, we've gotten really, in some ways, we're doing much better as a country. We've got a long way to go, but I do think our choices are expanding. So wherever you are located, I feel really confident that you can have access if you choose. Again, and it is about making a decision on where we want to try swaps and where we want to pull back from swaps. Okay, so let's move it on down. Here comes, Kristen, our white bread stuffing. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's a perfect time for me to announce that next month we are coming on and we're going to teach you the art and the science of sourdough bread making. It's one not to be missed because we have quite a few folks on our team that are outstanding. In particular, Kristen, who's on this call today, is the queen, and Autumn, who's the scone queen. That's what I'm going to call her. Where I'm going with this is not only to tell you to show up next month, is to also tell you that you can use to do a better job to cleaning it up, as opposed to our traditional stuffing recipe. What if we just swapped out sourdough bread? We're still having bread, right? But what we're doing is we're lowering the glycemic amount of our bread. Follow? You could also get a really great quinoa stuffing recipe, and I am being completely transparent and human. It's not going to happen in this house. It needs to taste close to my mother's. That's my non-negotiable. Once a year, I would like to have her stuffing, but I may swap out that sourdough bread. I've done that before. It doesn't this much of a difference. You're not going to be hard pressed. The other thing I would recommend is stuffing has a lot of butter in it. It has a lot of salt in it. And 2 other ways to clean this up is to use a healthier, let me say it this way, less processed salt. What's the one that we love, Danielle? Is it Celtic? What's the one that we
yeah,
it'll come to me. It'll come to me. What is it?
Kerrygold? No.
It's not that. I will put that in the show notes,
Okay.
but a
Baja
healthier,
Gold. Baja
What is-
Gold.
Baja Gold.
Baja Gold. That salt, oh my goodness, delicious. That is a better salt than your Morton's table salt, not to pick on them, but much better choice. And then in terms of butter, yes, grass-fed butter, and that is where that Kerrygold that Danielle just mentioned will come in. But
We also
again, all we're doing is cleaning up the original recipe. We're not swapping out. What did you say, Danielle?
we
Is
got
there-
a question about Redmond's as a brand. probably for salt, I'm guessing. And then we also got a good question, maybe you can address at some point. What if you're going to someone else's house and they are not organic at all? And
Oh, happens all the time, right? I'm going to do this. I don't need to be the sage on the stage here. Let's ask our really smart community, what would you do? I'll go last. What would you do? You're invited to Thanksgiving and you still want to do let's just call it a cleaner job. We'll call it that. Not
because I
better.
bring my own.
Okay, what do you bring of your own? Because that would be really hard. I'm invited for Thanksgiving. What am I going to bring? What are you bringing? Anyone? Anyone got
I
anything?
would volunteer to bring something so I knew that there was something that I knew what it was made from and what the contents were so that I could fill up on that if there was nothing else that looked
Bring
healthy to me.
greens. Bring all the
One.
greens. All the greens.
All the greens. That's exactly where I was going to go. So half of my plate, if I'm thinking out loud, like I really need to get those antioxidants, all the great properties of the healthy vegetables in there. That's what I would bring because I would want to control that. You could also even bring the vegetable platter. At least I know that part's covered.
Someone
Turkey. Go ahead.
commented, either not go, be very picky about what I eat, or I go for it and do better the next day.
Yeah, I love all of those options except for one. Please go. Always say yes. Always say yes. In a time where we are living where everything is so squeezed and feels so friction full, if you have an invitation to go to somebody's home to share community and love and hugs and food, if you can, always say yes. Make that be a new motto because we need that to come together in season of gratitude. Oh my gosh, say yes. But I do get it. And your choices are as you mentioned. You could have your healthier plate at home, whatever it looks like. You're not going to make your own turkey, right? You could have your healthier plate. This is what I would do. I would eat my healthier plate in a smaller amount. I would bring the biggest part of my plate, which is going to be the greens and the roasted vegetables, whatever it is. I would be super helpful there, even doing an appetizer there. And then I would eat the white meat of the turkey. That's how I would solve that. And if there is something in that dinner that you've been invited to that is and I'm just using it as a metaphor, our cranberry sauce that we can't live without or our stuffing, that is a time where we let that go for the day. And I love pick it up the next day. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's doing something bad. That drives me crazy too. Walking into somebody's house, I can't eat that. You feel like you are being deprived. How can we fill you up in a way that makes you feel not only satisfied, like you got a little secret that nobody else has gotten? That's how I look at it. You guys go ahead. You eat that full plate and you're going to be asleep on the couch with your pants unbuttoned and being really uncomfortable. I'm not. That's my choice. What do you have to say about that? Anything? Oh, Danielle, you're on mute. Tell me again.
Sorry, I have one that says no one has cared that I bring some of my own. They're very supportive. So
I love that. Most people are. And guess what? The people that aren't, you've just gotten them thinking about it. I'd say we start a Thanksgiving revolution. Let it all be. What would be different if you left your Thanksgiving meal and you actually felt great? Because 9 times out of 10, aren't you so stuffed? Like you're like, oh, why did I eat all that? Why did I eat all that? And now we're kicking it up a notch because you're on a healing journey. And so you got to take care of yourself Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it is. So we're just getting better at it. We're not taking things away. We're just leveling up or upgrading our Thanksgiving. Let's move on. We're going to do creamy mashed potatoes. Is that anybody's kryptonite on the call? Anybody just like love mashed potatoes? That's my kids. Along with the big pour of the gravy. If that's you, speak up. No shame. Again, my best hack for this one is pick a purple potato. It's a great conversation starter, 1. And 2, got a little bit more health benefits in there. I also highly encourage switching out your butter to a ghee or a grass-fed butter. Yeah. And then, of course, when we start adding butter, dairy, and all of those, then we start getting a little dirtier into the recipe. So keeping that potato as close to its most basic form. The other thing that I've done, didn't go over really well, however, I might try it again, is that you can actually roast your potatoes. And as they get soft, you can smash them down and actually put a broiler on that and a little olive oil there to finish it off at the end. And it's roasted mashed potatoes. Now, does it have the consistency that we've all know and love? It does not. However, we're just talking about making some different changes to make it a little healthier meal. So again, the cleanest I would say would be to dice up a sweet potato instead of a white potato, add as much of the ghee and the olive oil, roast that down, and don't start adding a bunch of other stuff to it. Use that healthier salt. Questions about that? Everybody good? All right, last one. It could go for the pumpkin pie or the apple pie. So I'm sure there is somebody on the call that is their thing. In fact, I'm sure there's somebody on the call that make the thing. If that's your thing, please keep the thing for the day. Keep the thing, right? But if it's not your thing, ways around it would be to do a custard style with that flavor. I don't know if you've ever tried. Canned pumpkin is actually even healthier than fresh pumpkin. I don't know if you are aware of that, but the beta carotene in there, it's a really concentrated amount of pumpkin in a can. As I just got finished saying that it's less healthy, but in the case of canned pumpkin, that's not the norm. This is actually quite healthy. 2 tablespoons of that pumpkin puree, 100% pumpkin, in a non-fat Greek yogurt. Again, you might be looking at me like I'm nuts, but it is actually very good. It tastes like a pumpkin custard, right? And then the last one, to make it squeaky clean, I would use a coconut cream with that as opposed to a whipped cream. You're not going to get around some of that heavy concentrated sugar. We're just trying to do a little bit better. In fact, that middle one is probably going to be your cleanest option. Questions for me? Questions for me. Let's talk about them all. Lay them on me, if anybody. I heard you say something about Redmond salt. Was that a question?
I think it's hard sometimes to know which topic, but yes, someone did say Redmond's.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with Redmond's unless, of course, I'm just drawing a blank for the moment, but I will do that research for you and get right back to you. So let me know. Or you can let me know if that whether or not you found that to be a healthier choice too. Of course, I would love to see the back of that label.
And Autumn put the link to the Baja Gold Salt.
Oh, good. You guys got that? That's something that our staff really appreciates as well. That Baja salt is delicious. You don't even need as much of it as, say, a traditional salt. It's very concentrated. It's really salty, but it's delicious. You're not going to have a hard time. The other thing is that, has anybody on the call ever made roasted pumpkin seeds? That would be another really great recipe that I'll add in there. That is squeaky clean. Use that really good salt, use a really good fat on top of it, and then use the slow roasting methodology. Oh my goodness, that is delicious. Instead of having a different kind of like a candied pecan or something, they're very good. Did I just get somebody chiming in there, Danielle?
No, they're chiming in on different things. Somebody who bought the salt and how good it is. And
Oh, good.
Somebody did say, yes, we love the pumpkin seeds too.
Good. I will put that one in there. So far, you've got, okay. I'll add in those. Okay, let's move on. So we're trying to do better. We're on this healing journey with you. One of the things, and I think it was Paula on one of our episodes, or maybe it was Karen, I can't remember. Another really great strategy at all times, but we're focusing on Thanksgiving, is find a way. If you have your traditional Thanksgiving, let's just say you scrap all of my ideas, you're just going to have it and you just want to have it. One method, if you will, that you can counterbalance some of these high sugar, high salt, high unhealthy fat ingredients is to get in a little teeny stroll after dinner is over. What I mean by that is, let me meet you where you are. We've had dinner with our family at somebody else's house or your house. And what typically happens when the meal is over? Everybody shuffles into the family room, and the next thing you know, we've got that tryptophan coma going on where everybody's full and uncomfortable. Not you. because somehow you're going to ask somebody in your family, a friend, whoever, you're just going to go take a quick 10-minute walk. Quick 10-minute walk. We're going to level out that blood sugar. And we know one of the best ways to do that is movement after consumption. Anybody do a turkey trot walk? Anybody already do this in their daily practice? You will feel so much better if you've overconsumed just to be able to move the body. So if you can, get up from the dinner table if it serves you and it doesn't make you look like odd person out, go ahead and take that 10-minute stroll. You'll feel so much better, so much better. It's great for circulation, it's great for digestion, it's great for detox. And which, let me comment, setting yourself up for success with digestion means that you are slowing yourself down. And then when the meal is over, we're picking ourselves back up and we're moving. Questions for me on that one? Everybody good? Who does a 10-minute walk already? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. You will be now. All right, I promised you a little gratitude breath work. So we're going to do this resonance breathing together. I am giving you this tool, and I sincerely hope that you don't do this necessarily in front of your whole entire family, but that you find a quiet moment, either the morning of Thanksgiving or close to the season as possible. You can use it whenever. That you'll take 3 or 4 minutes to pause and to get your nervous system into a state of relaxation. It's actually called rest and digest for a reason, where the other side of it is wired and tired. We want to be in a place of rest and digest where our nervous system says, we're safe. It's okay to calm down. I'm addressing this straight on with you all because I have walked this walk with 2 people in my family, and I do very much understand the anxiety and the stress at all parts of the season, and trying to manage your own health when you have such a heavy burden of something that you're thinking about probably constantly. I get it. But one of the easiest, least expensive, and best ways to regulate is to intentionally take a breath. So I'd love to teach you resonance breathing. I'd like you to put your feet flat on the floor, and I want you to drop your shoulders for me. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, now would be a good time to do. Here's the imagery that I want you to think of before we get going. As you take a breath in through your nose, don't try to control it. I want you to think about the best smell that you enjoy. Is it the smell of the turkey? Is it the smell of the stuffing? Is it the smell of a freshly brewed cup of coffee? Whatever it is, draw that image up in your mind and just take a big breath in with that aroma. We're just practicing. When you are ready to exhale, please open your eyes so you can see me. I want you to imagine that there is a beautiful candle on your Thanksgiving table, and you don't want to blow it out. You just want to make that flame dance. So it would look like this. It's a really slow, intentional exhale. We're not blowing out the candle. We just want to make the flame dance. So one more time before I start you off, we're going to inhale the very best smell that you can remember. And then we are going to purse those lips and gently make that flame dance. Please close your eyes and I will mind the rounds. We're going to inhale for a count of 5 and we're going to exhale for a count of 5. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Blink open your eyes and just take a natural breath. Put in the chat, how do you feel? Any shifts? Anyone feel just a little lighter? Resonance breathing. It's an inhale for 5 and it's an exhale for 5. And the research shows that in less than 2 minutes, you can actively shift from a sympathetic, which is wired and tired, over to parasympathetic, which is rest and digest, which is where I want you always. Good work. We're almost to the end. I hope you're feeling great. I hope you're feeling excited for Thanksgiving. Here's back to you. I'm done with my job of presenting. It's all on you. And because there are so many of you, and I literally am not just saying this, I want to cry. I am so thrilled that you took time out to join just little old me for Thanksgiving discussion. It means a lot, and it means a lot, I know, to you all that are getting ready to head into the season, but thank you. So the question I have for you is, what is one small change that you are willing to make this Thanksgiving that will help you feel your best? One small change. Anything that we talked about, that's pretty interesting to me.
We have taking a 10-minute walk.
I love it. Steadying out that blood sugar. Who's going to do the big one? Who's going to make the turkey switch?
Turkey trot in the morning.
Ah, I love it. Are you
Yeah.
Maryland based?
Yes, they are. And there's pumpkin custard with an exclamation point.
Oh, so good. You're welcome.
We want to do it right. Grass-fed, grass-finished, and fresh cranberry.
Love it.
We have kale, sourdough stuffing.
Amazing. I would love that recipe. Anyone else? Listen, whatever you all decide to do, a reminder, this is progress. It's not perfection. I have often thought, and we've talked about this before on other episodes, this is such a hard conversation to have with people like us who one way or another that are on the journey. You have so many things that you're thinking about. Why do we have to think about this one? But if I could be so bold, what you consume through your eyes, through your ears, through your lungs, in your mouth, it matters. It matters tremendously when it comes to healing. And whether or not we're talking about Thanksgiving or any other meal, nobody is putting the pressure on you to be perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it. I study the stuff every single day, but I do try to elevate because I want to feel good. I want to support. I want to eat foods that are pushing forward my healing. And so if that is you as well, just give yourself a break. If you make one teeny change, it goes miles. Every clean choice supports your healing. Every deep breath that you take pulls you into a better state of consumption. And then every thought of gratitude is just really about filling your soul differently. And I'm smiling because Thanksgiving, honestly, has become my favorite holiday in spite of all the Thanksgivings that were tough. It's just about being with your people. It's just about being, and how lucky we are to be together again, right? So I feel that way about you all today. I hope you feel the same way on the 27th. And might I add just a little tidbit? My second son, was actually born on Thanksgiving. So this is the year, the 27th, that it is his 27th birthday. So it'll be an extra special time of gratitude. He's the one that's in the military, so I'm grateful that he will be home. So I hope for little micro stories like that for you all. That's some good stuff. All right. Here's my big quote for you today. A grateful heart is fertile soil where healing, hope, and peace take root. That's my blessing for you all. I look forward to seeing you all. If you need me on a generic basis, of course, you can have my contact information in just a moment. It's stacy@believebig.org. I will put that in the show notes, which will be coming to you shortly. And of course, I totally understand and expect we have a handful of amazing oncology nutritionists that can target your healing a little bigger. I didn't say better, I said bigger, right? More targeted towards whatever diagnosis that you are in the season with, that they can help you directly. You would reach out to me and I will put you in contact with them. And finally, if you want more information about nutrition, all of our episodes are recorded and they're on the Believe Big website under resources. Do I have any questions before I let you all launch into Halloween season, since we're not quite there to Thanksgiving just yet? We just wanted to give you some examples before the holiday. Anyone? No questions, Danielle? We good?
We have one comment agreeing with you and honoring God with good choices for a healthy body for his glory. And thank you, Stacy.
Oh, listen, thank you. And from all of us, there is one person from our team missing from this picture. My sweet friend Jen was not here at this event, but there's a couple other folks, but from all of us, I know it's a little early. I'll say first, happy Halloween, which whatever, but Thanksgiving from all of us. We could not do the work that we get to do without each one of you supporting us along the way. So I want to say thank you. I have a tear in my eye because this totally fills me up. And I feel lucky and blessed that I get to do the work that I get to do with each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you next month's not to be missed. You get 3 of us from our team on the call, and we're going to teach you how to make sourdough, because if Taylor Swift does it, we got to do it, right? So that will be next month on the 19th. You guys take care.